Hi dear students, in the last session we discussed about merits and demerits of R.H. Whittaker's classification. In this session we will go through the basic concepts which are required for classification of organisms of 5 different kingdoms which is explained by R.H. Whittaker. We will take the first one, that is mode of nutrition. Mode of nutrition. Why I am going to tell you all these things here is these concepts which I am going to explain in this class are the basic concepts required for understanding of the 5 different kingdom and also the members of that kingdom. So here we will take up the first one, mode of nutrition. So what do you mean by nutrition? That is referred as a feeding, the food which we are going to have. For the survivability of organisms are to substitute the energy for our daily needs. ನಮ್ಮ ದಿನನಿತ್ಯದ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ಜೀವಂತ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಬದುಕುಳಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿರೋಂಥ ಒಂದು ಮೆಥಡ್, ಬಯೋಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ನೇ ನಾವು ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. The method of feeding or providing energy for daily activities or the energy required for our daily activities. That is called your nutrition. We'll take up the 2 different methods of nutrition, modes of nutrition. The first one is autotrophic nutrition. That is commonly called as autotropism. Autotropism. The phenomena is said to be autotropism and the organisms are called as autotrophs. I am going to tell you about the photosynthetic organisms are the organisms which can be able to prepare their own food and those are called as autotrophs and the phenomena is called as autotropism. So here you will directly give the examples for autotrophs, right? So best example are plants. Along with plants, some other microorganisms are also there which will form a photosynthetic nature or they also exhibit their ability to produce the food. So here mode of nutrition, autotropism, best example is plant. Other than plant, some bacteria are which comes under the kingdom Monera and next is the organisms which comes under the kingdom Protista. Only few are coming in this section. All plants are autotrophic and few members of kingdom Monera, that is bacteria and kingdom Protista are coming under autotrophic organisms. Here by absorbing sunlight energy and utilizing photosynthetic pigment. And the raw materials like carbon dioxide and water. They will form resultant product. Result is production of sugar or you can say that glucose, commonly called as glucose. See, I will write you one equation, chemical equation for photosynthesis or autotropism, that is CO2 plus H2O. It gives C6H12O6 plus oxygen is evolved. So you have to balance the equation, chemical equation. Here in this region you can find that sunlight energy, right? Sunlight is utilizing and here it is a chlorophyll molecule. By utilizing all these things, plants can able to prepare their own food. So this is one mode of nutrition. Other than plant also, Here bacteria and protista groups of organisms are also there, which can also forms a autotrophic mode of nutrition. In that, when we sum up these three organisms, ಇದು ಮೂರು ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ autotropism ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. We will divide the autotropism or autotrophic organisms into again two types. So first one is photosynthetic or photoautotrophs. Photoautotrophs. And the second one is chemoautotrophs. Students, listen here. When we take autotropism, we will give or quote an example that plant, bacteria and protista. But only plant can form a 100% photosynthetic nature. That means autotropism. Rather than this, we have two more examples, bacteria and protista, which can also falls in autotrophic group of organisms, but they cannot definitely do the photosynthesis. Along with that, chemosynthesis is the one more important type. So here we will again divide the autotrophic organisms into two types, photoautotrophs, chemoautotrophs. Here is photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs. Photo means light energy. Photo means light. Energy for preparation of food is obtained by sunlight. So that's why it is photosynthesis. Or the organisms are called as photoautotrophs. The next one is chemoautotrophs. Chemo refers to chemicals. Chemicals which are present in the plant body after the absorption by roots. Plant roots will absorb the nutrient elements, mineral nutrients from the soil, and that molecules will provide energy for preparation of food. The energy required for synthesis of food is obtained by chemicals. The examples for chemicals which gives energy is iron, Fe anta bardirtini, iron, NH3 ammonia and NO3 andre nitrate. So these three different type of chemicals will provide energy for synthesis of food products. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು photosynthesis ಅಂತ ಬೇರೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ, chemosynthesis ಅಂತ ಬೇರೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. When it comes to chemosynthesis, here also it is a type of autotropism, but the energy required for synthesis of food is not obtained by sunlight. Instead, the chemicals which are present in the plant body after by absorption of root absorption, like iron, ammonia and the NO3, so nitrate. So these will provide energy for synthesis of food. That is called as chemosynthesis and chemoautotrophs. Here it is photoautotrophs, directly the same equation which is above here. Sunlight energy will provide a energy for the photosynthesis or synthesis of a food product. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ? So this is about the autotropism mode of nutrition. First mode of nutrition, autotropism. So you have to make a note on this, the same thing. Please dear students, you have to make notes while watching the video classes, and it will be very helpful for your next future NDOs and also the classes. So if you are not writing the notes, it will be waste of watching the video also, right? So here we will take up the next type of mode of nutrition, heterotropism. ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇದನ್ನಿಷ್ಟನ್ನು, ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. So here the next mode of nutrition is heterotropism. Second one, heterotropism. The best example is kingdom Animalia. Animals ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾವೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ heterotrophic ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. And some members of kingdom Monera and kingdom Protista and also all the members of kingdom Mycota. Kingdom Mycota. So listen here student, here heterotropism is also a mode of nutrition where the organisms are the members of kingdom animals, kingdom Monera, few members of kingdom Monera and Protista, and all the members of kingdom Animalia and the Mycota will exhibit the heterotropism. Here hetero means dependency, ಬೇರೆ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಫುಡ್ಗೆ, ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೆಟಿರೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Here in heterotropism you have two methods of feeding of food. So here the food is going to be fed in two different methods. One is ingestion and another one is absorption. Ingestion and absorption. All the majority of organisms which have their own systems like digestive system, neurons, and then is a circulatory system or maybe the excretory system. A well developed or advanced digestive system, excretory system and circulatory system, they exhibit a ingestion method. Andre nammalli ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್, ಎಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್ನ ನೋಡಿ, ಹೈಯರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆನಾ. ಸೊ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟಿವ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟರಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇದೆ. ದ ಫುಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ಟಮಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಥ್ರೂ passage of intestine, small and large intestine, they will form the absorption process and later it will be eliminated to the excretory system. Here it reaches to the excretory system and then it is going to be eliminated. So in this way there is a absorption process and also digestion process along with that excretion. So here this type of various methods that helps in ಬ್ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಫುಡ್ನ ಇಂಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀವಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಫೈನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಆನ್ ಅರ್ತ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಫುಡ್, ರೈಟ್, ವಿಚ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಫುಡ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇರ್, they have the capacity to prepare their food. The organisms are there which can have the capacity to prepare the food, but they can not able to fix light energy. They cannot able to fix a light energy. So here some other group of organisms will depend on other organisms either in the raw form or maybe in the dead form. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವನ್ನ ಒಂಥರ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿದ್ದಾವೆ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಅಥವಾ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಫೀಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಫುಡ್ನ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರದ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ಪ್ಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ higher level organisms are the examples for ingestion method of heterotropism, and the second absorption method. In absorption method, two different type of absorption methods are there. One is parasitism and another one is saprophytic condition. Parasitism and saprophytic condition. We will deviate from parasitism because we need to understand one more term which is required for explaining parasitism, that is host. What do you mean by host? Here I am here with you all and I have a haze where it become a place or a residence for few of the lower level organisms like ticks, mites, lice, ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಉಣ್ಣೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಥರದ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ, ಆಯಿತಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರದ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸು ಡೊಮ್ಯಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ವೇರ್ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫುಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫುಡ್ಡು ಸಿಗಬೇಕು, ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ ಕೂಡ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಂಥ ರೀಜನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೋ ದ ಹೈವ್ಸ್, ಗೂಡುಗಳ ಟೈಪ್ ಇರೋ ಅಂಥ ಕಡೆ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ತಿಗಣೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ಉಣ್ಣೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೈಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫುಡ್. ಊಟ ವಸತಿ ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಅಂಥ ಕಡೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೋಸ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ ದ ಫುಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್, and the organisms which gives a food and shelter to other organisms are called as host. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ? ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. The organism which gives a food and shelter to other organisms, so those are called as host. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಸಮ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the organisms which will absorb the food from other organisms, or the organisms which absorb the food from host organism are called as parasitic organisms, and the phenomena is called as parasitism. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? Parasitism is also a method of heterotropism. They are dependent on host for their food, right? So that's why this is also one of the important type of heterotropism what we have discussed in absorption method. So example here it is ticks, mites, a liver fluke, roundworm. So here students, you can also find one more term here, ticks, mites, liver fluke and roundworm. I have given many 4 examples. There you can find that few organisms are present on an organism. ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಮೇಲೆಗಡೆ ಜೀವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆನ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎಕ್ಟೋಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಸ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ಸ್ ದ ಫುಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಬಾಡಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಜಂತುಹುಳು ಇದೆ, ಎಂಡೋ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ವೇರ್ based on the presence where the parasitic organisms are living. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸು ಅದ್ರ ಜೀವನ ನಡೆಸುತ್ತೋ ಅದ್ರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಅಗೈನ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಸಮ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಇಂಟು 2 types. One is ectoparasitism and another one is endoparasitism. Here is the 2 words, biological terms, ecto and endo. ಎಂಡೋ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋವಂಥದ್ದು. ಎಕ್ಟೋ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆಗಡೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಎಕ್ಟೋ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್, ಎಂಡೋ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದಟ್ ರೌಂಡ್ವರ್ಮ್, ಲಿವರ್ ಫ್ಲೂಕ್, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಲಿವ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಜೀವಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎಂಡೋಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಸ್. ectoparasites means where they can live on the top of organism, that is called as ectoparasitism. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು? Again you will go through the same thing and in detail. It is also 5 mark question in second year's syllabus. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಇನ್ ಫ್ಯೂಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ತುಂಬ ಕಲಿಯೋಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ರೂಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಸಮ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು, ಆಯಿತಾ? ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟೇಟಿವ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದು ಅಬ್ಲಿಗೇಟರಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಸಮ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. So this is about parasitism. We'll move to the next concept, that is saprophytic condition. So here the organisms which can feed on dead and decay matter. Dead and ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, dead and decay organic matter. And after feeding on this dead and decayed organic matter, they start preparing their own food, and those type of organisms are called as saprophytic organisms. Best example for this is the members of kingdom Mycota are fungi. So fungi ಬರೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸು ಕೂಡ saprophytic ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದಿಷ್ಟನ್ನು? So this is about heterotropism and modes of nutrition. Modes of nutrition is completed, and in that we discussed about the autotropism and heterotropism in detail. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಹೆಟಿರೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್, ಆಟೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್, ಸ್ಯಾಪ್ರೋಫೈಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ಬಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಮೂವ್ ಟು ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. So here nucleus and nuclei. Nucleus and nuclei will make a bifurcation to understand this properly. Okay. So here nucleus and nuclei. I will write one diagram to understand it properly. Here is a one plant cell where there is a nucleus inside that, and here is one bacterial cell, and here is a genetic material, and the genetic material of this is here. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ. The genetic material of in this nucleus, in this cell, the genetic material is present at the center and is surrounded by nuclear membrane. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ. In one particular cell, I will take this as a plant cell and this is as a bacterial cell. So here, nucleus is present at the center, or sometimes we will say that nucleus is present at the peripheral region in plant cell anta heltira. Okay na. So exactly that is the correct one. In plant cells, nucleus is present at the peripheral region, andre marginally irtade, and this nucleus is confined and it possessed with the genetic material, that is DNA anta heltire, and the genetic material is completely protected by a nuclear membrane. Here it is a nuclear membrane, NAM anta bardirtini. Nuclear membrane will be there, and you have observed that the nucleus is here and the nuclear membrane inside that is a genetic material. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ. But this is present in eukaryotic organisms. Eukaryotic ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ? ಟ್ರೂ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಟ್ರೂ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ರೆಫರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಟ್ರೂ. ಕ್ಯಾರಿಯಾನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೀನಿಂಗು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಕ್ಯಾರಿಯಾನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, KARYON, ಇಟ್ ರೆಫರ್ಸ್ ಟು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್, ಟ್ರೂ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇನ್ ಅ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ the DNA present is naked. There is a presence of naked DNA, and this naked DNA is completely distributed throughout the cell. Purti cells ella kade distribute agide, and also the absence of nuclear membrane. And this forms a structure called as nucleoid. When you come to a nucleus, genetic material is completely protected by a nuclear membrane and by the presence of histone proteins. ಇಲ್ಲಿ histones ಅಂತ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು proteins ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Histone proteins are present. ಇಲ್ಲಿ absent ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Histone proteins are absent in nucleoid condition. Histone proteins are present in nucleus condition. Nucleus is present in eukaryotic cells. Nucleus is absent in prokaryotes, but nucleoid will be there in prokaryotes. So prokaryotes andre enappa? Pro means first. So first formed organisms, all the bacteria are first formed organisms, primitive organisms, and they just have a nucleus condition. ಅಂದ್ರೆ genetic material ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, but ಅದಕ್ಕೆ nuclear membrane ಇರಲ್ಲ. Instead, the DNA is completely distributed and naked. ಅದು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ. ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So this forms the nucleoid and the nucleus. Nucleoid will be present in prokaryotes, nucleus will be present in eukaryotes. Example is plant cell for nucleus and bacterial cell for nuclei. And then histone proteins are present in nucleus and histone proteins are absent in prokaryotic nucleoid condition. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ? So this is about nucleus and nuclei. We'll move to the next concept. ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಏನು ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. So we'll move to the next concept, that is reproduction. Reproduction. So here reproduction, the word itself saying that production means produce ಮಾಡೋದು, manufacture ಮಾಡೋದು. Re ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ. So as it is mind, the same organism is going to produce new one as of its own. ಅದರದೇ ತರ ಇರುವಂತ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So that is called as reproduction. ಅರ್ಥ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ? So here the reproduction is a process where a new organisms are going to be formed of the previous one. Parental organism type, the same parental organism type only the organisms are formed and they are all newer one, right? So here reproduction process can be classified into two. One is asexual reproduction and another one is sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, here it is a Greek origin term. A means absence, and it is also called as none. None andre illa anta artha, okay na? There is no involvement of male and female gametes separately. Only we will say that the parental organism will form some perpetuates or offsprings. Here the parental organism perpetuates or forms a new offspring. New organism. Ili parental anta ಹೇಳಿದೀವಿ. We are not going to say that particularly male and female gamete. Absence of sex characters. Okay, there is no presence of male and female gametes. Directly the parental organism will perpetuates a new offspring. ಅದೇ ತರ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. And next in sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, here the involvement of separate sex or separate gametes. In that you can find it is a female gamete and it is a male gamete. The presence of male and female gamete is observed in sexual reproduction. The contribution, half of the contribution is from maternal side or from mother side, and half of the contribution is from paternal side or father side. So I will quote one example for both of these two, right? So here is a amoeba. Shape in okay na? So here is amoeba. In case of this, daughter cells are formed like this, and this is called as binary fission. Artha agideyala? But here in case of this, here is a ovum and here is a sperm, and there are 23 chromosomes are contributed from ovum and 23 chromosomes are contributed from sperm, and these two unite together to form a 46 chromosome containing new organism, right? So here we will quote one example from humans, ovum and sperm. These two are the female and male gametes. where the contribution from these two will form a new organism. That is involvement of separate gametes or fusion of separate male and female gamete is called as sexual reproduction. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು? ಇದ್ರ ಟೈಪ್ಸು ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಬರ್ತಾ ಮುಂದೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಯಾಕೆ ಇವಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಫುಲ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ನ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ನಾನು ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ನೀವು ಬೇಗ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. The last concept, actually why I am going to tell you this last concept is, in the first session I have explained the distinctive properties of a living organism. In that we have taken one example, that is organization, cellular level of organization, tissue level of organization, organ level of organization and organ system level of organization. And I have given one more example to explain this organization, that is from amoeba to animals. And amoeba ಒಂದು ಲೋಯರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಇಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಹೈಯರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ತನಕ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. And the same way you have not properly written anything, because we have met some students that they have written assignment regarding the first question. Sorry, in the first session I have given one question like this: mention the type of organization in the following organisms: humans, mango plant, and then amoeba and land snail. In all example na kottidini. You have to write that either cellular level of organization, tissue or organ system level of organization. Instead of this, you all written as like unicellular level and multicellular level. That is a complexity of organisms body. ಅದರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಇದೆಯೋ, ಎರಡು ಸೆಲ್ ಇದೆಯೋ, ಮೂರು ಇದೆಯೋ, 10 ಇದೆಯೋ, ಈ ಥರ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಯುನಿಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ದ RH Whittaker's classification. Understood? But here we need to discuss about the ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್. ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸಿ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್? ಮಂಕಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಬಟ್ the same monkeys came from some other group of organisms, and or you can say also that a lower organisms will become a connecting link for higher level organisms, which is the connecting link between birds and mammals ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ, that is echidna and platypus ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? echidna and platypus will be the egg laying mammals ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ. ಬರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಗ್ ಇಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯಂಗ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಓವಿಪ್ಯಾರಸ್, ವಿವಿಪ್ಯಾರಸ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ. ಬಟ್ 2 mammals are also there which lay egg, and they become a connecting link that birds came first, then we the organisms ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸಾರಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿ ಹೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಗ್ಲೋಬ್. ಈ ಏನು ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನಮಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಥ್ರೂ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ದ ಟೆಂಪ್ರವರಿ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಹಿಯರ್. Levels of organization. So here 4 different levels of organizations are there. First one is cellular level organization, and next is tissue level organization. Third, organ level organization, and fourth one is organ system level of organization. We'll take up one best example or the method to understand this organization completely, that is the process of excretion. Here, the elimination of waste product from either a cell or maybe the tissue or organ or maybe the organ system. So ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಯ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೀಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ a complete a group of organs is called as organ system. the organ system will performs the excretion process, or any one of the cell will forms a excretion process. So here we will take the best example to understand this levels of organization, that is excretion. So here in cellular level of organization, the organism, complete organism is having only one cell. Amoeba ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ಲು, ಆ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ಲೇ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇನಪ್ಪ. ಸೊ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್ a single cell containing amoeba itself a complete organism, and the simple diffusion method is performing excretion process. So idenaito simple diffusion process. Simple diffusion process of a cell will act as a excretion in unicellular organisms. When it comes to multicellular organisms, even example is flame cells of Platyhelminthes, or also you can write flatworms. Flame cells are those type of cells only meant for excretion. So a single cell performing the complete action of excretion. This is a cellular level of organization. And when it comes to the next group of organisms, nephrostomes are nephridial cells which are present in annelida. ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥವಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ಲೀಚು ಈ ಥರ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, ಆಯಿತಾ, ನೀರೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲು. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅನ್ನೆಲಿಡಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಫ್ರಿಡಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಟಫ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್, ಅಂದರೆ ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್. ಆ ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅನ್ನೆಲಿಡಾ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟಫ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ nephridial cells and nephrostomes alva. So these will become a part for excretion process. So it becomes a tissue level of organization. ಯಾವ ಥರ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಫ್ಲೇಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೀಷನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂತು ಮಾಲ್ಫಿಜಿಯನ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಮಾಲ್ಫಿಜಿಯನ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಲೈಕ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಫ್ಲೈ ತಗೋಬೋದು ನೋಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ ಇವಾಗ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು. ಹೌಸ್ ಫ್ಲೈ ತಗೋಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಇದು ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ತಗೋಬೋದು, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರಾನ್ ತಗೋಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ನೀವು ಇನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ತಗೋಬೋದು. ಕೋಲಿಯಾಪ್ಟರನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಡಿಪ್ಟರನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಮಾಲ್ಫಿಜಿಯನ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ which acts as an organ for excretion process. ಒಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಇದು. I will write simple diagram for this. So here is a mouth, ಕಾಕ್ರೋಚಿನ ಮೌತ್. ಹೀಗೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಅದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಥ್ರೆಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಓಕೆನಾ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥ್ರೆಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ವೈಡರ್, ಓಕೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ನ್ಯಾರೋಯರ್ and it is generated into a narrower structure again, least one, and it become a thread like continuous sheath, okay. And then it is opening as a narrow tube called as anus or rectum anta heltira, okay na, CK. So here it is a part below the stomach, a thread like structures called as Malpighian tubules, and these thread like structures present above the stomach is called as gizzards. These gizzards helps in digestion ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥ್ರೆಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಲೋ ದ ಸ್ಟಮಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ excretion process, and those are called as Malpighian tubules present in insects. If you come to lab classes, we will make a dissection of cockroach and we'll find out the structure, okay. So ide ತರ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ನ ನೋಡೋಣ. So this is about Malpighian tubules. These are the organs, particular organs. And last we will come up with the kidney. Only kidney cannot do the function of excretion, right? So along with kidney, ureter, urethra, urinary bladder, so on. Urinary bladder, and then renal pelvis, renal artery, right? So these are the different structures. organs, more different organs group together to form excretory system. That excretory system will bring one function called as excretion. So you will find that many different organs will group together to become an organ system, and this type of system is observed in higher level organisms, and that is a level of organization called as organ system level of organization. Organ level of organization, one particular organ helps in one particular function, special function. Nephridial cells are those tuft-like structure or a mass of cells which brings a excretion process in Annelida. Ascomanthes allu barutte, okay na? And next to flame cells. So flame cells, these are the single cells which performs a function of excretion in flatworms. And simple diffusion is a type of excretion observed in amoeba. So here you can find the same excretion process. It may be done by single cell by simple diffusion, a special type of cells within the multicellular organism by flame cells. A multicellular organism developed a tissue-like structure in one complete organism, or the multicellular organism which is having a particular organ to bring a function, and a group of organ will bring the organ system and then develop into a new functions, a special function to bring a excretion process. So here these are the different methods, levels of organization, and the best example taken by excretion. So plants are observe madidre photosynthesis process leaves ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, and roots ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ರೆ absorption ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಲ್ಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಬ್ರಯೋಫೈಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ರೈಸಾಯ್ಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ನೀವು ಟೆರ್ಡೋಫೈಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ರೈಸಾಯ್ಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್, ಅಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜಿಮ್ನೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಎಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ರೂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ವೈ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ is only the reason that you can't understand anything regarding levels of organization. When you learn completely about the plant kingdom, we'll make up one summary regarding levels of organization in plants after the understanding by plant kingdom. And this type of information is already present in your mind, and if I quote this only example, and it is better to understand properly, right? So that's why I have given this example, and you came to know that levels of organization. Artha agidiyalla? So these are the basic features of all the organisms which are required for study of 5 kingdoms of R.H. Whittaker. So those which are studied in this session, which will be very helpful for you all: modes of nutrition, nucleus and nucleoid, and then the next one is reproduction, in that sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction, and the last is levels of organization. Thank you dear students.